Hey, what's up? Thanks for coming to my YouTube channel. My name is Lauren Hardy. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how we can spot a good real estate investment. So if you do this right, a house that you purchase could absolutely change your life financially. I can say that that exact thing happened for myself for my first home that I ever bought for me to live in. If you buy the house right, this house could end up doubling in value. And when you sell, I mean, you're making a huge payday. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what to look for in your area, in your territories, and the type of home that might help you determine whether this is going to be a good investment or not. In this video, I'm going to share with you where you should look and what type of areas that you should avoid. I'm going to brush over what type of condition this house should be and how do you know if this house is discounted enough. So keep watching. So let's first get into where should you look. Now, what I'm talking about is the actual city or county. So I would probably start with a metropolitan statistical area, and then when you actually have a subject property you're interested in, I would make sure that you do this analysis in that city that you are in. And the first thing that I want to look at is the unemployment rate. I want to look at unemployment trends for the last 5 years. Now, at the time of filming this video, we did just go through a strange event, a global pandemic, which really skewed our unemployment rates as of the last year. So if you want to be extra safe, you could look at the unemployment trends in the last 8 years, because if you look at 2020 and 2021, unemployment is going to be very high and it's not going to look very favorable for your market. So you really want to see the trend. And what I want to see is I want to pull year to year. I want to go back at least 5 years, and I want to see that the unemployment rate is going down, meaning that less people are unemployed. The next thing I want to look at is the population growth in the area. So this is a number where you want to see it going up. So like unemployment, you want to see go down. Population, you want to see go up. That means that more people are moving into the area. You want to look at the last 5 years, and you want to see that year after year, the population is increasing. You want to look at 5 years total from the beginning to the end, but you also want to see year to year that the population is increasing. What you might see is that maybe the population increased for the last 5 years. So say 2016 to 2021, yes, the population has increased. However, something happened in 2019 that has started a trend of population decreasing. And that is something that you want to drill down. If you see that in the recent years, population is decreasing, that could mean that something is going on in that city. For example, maybe a major employer went out of business and now you have a bunch of people who are out of jobs, so they are moving out. That is something that you want to pay attention to. Which leads me to my next piece of demographic data, job diversity. So what does that mean? You want an area that has a diverse amount of jobs, meaning that there's not just one type of industry that really dominates the area. What you want to look for is that you want to see that there's not one type of industry that is taking up more than 25% of the jobs in town. If you see that there is something that's taking up 25% or more of the jobs in town, then you really want to drill down even further and look at the top employers in the area and make sure that there's not just one employer that is employing everybody. Because what does that mean? Well, that means that when and if that industry is having an issue, it might end up being where all those jobs go away because that company went out of business and now that area is economically depressed. I have seen this happen in areas where, for example, there was a lot of steel work. In areas like where my family had rental properties, there was one specific area in particular that when the recession hit, that city never recovered. In fact, they even lost their local grocery store. So you want to make sure that you look back and you see that there's not just one employer that is employing the majority of people in town. Another thing to look for is there any new developments in the area? Is there anything exciting going on in this city that is going to drive people to move here? Is the city promoting anything or giving tax benefits, or are they giving, money for people to move there? A lot of cities take these actions to incentivize people to move there, and it's really good for the health of the city. So you want to pay attention and see if there's any new developments or if the city is taking initiative to move people to that city. So what areas should you avoid? I like to avoid areas that are too cheap. Right off the top of my head, if I see that the average house price in the area is $50,000, I am not going to touch that area. I also pay attention to the crime rates. If you feel like you should not be walking home late at night, that's an indication that you should not purchase real estate in that market. If the area has poor ratings for their schools, again, another indication that that might not be a really good real estate investment because people want to go where the school districts are good. Now let's talk about the condition. What type of condition should the property be in? Now I like to look for value add properties. These are properties where you can add value. So I love fixer uppers because I know that I can add value by making cosmetic upgrades. Or maybe you can buy a smaller property that's on a bigger lot and you can add square footage. If you take the cost to build that additional square footage with the amount that you would be able to sell per square foot, if you see that there is a large difference and you'll be profitable, let's look into expanding the home and adding value. So make sure when you are buying a deal that there is a way that you can add value, which will add money in your pocket when you sell. So how do you know if the house is discounted enough? Well, I give you a free deal analyzer for that. Check out my free deal analyzer tool at www.laurenhardyco.com. I will give you step-by-step instructions on how to use this tool, and you can use this for every deal that you buy to make sure that you are profiting at the time of the purchase. When I first got into the real estate business and I bought my first property, it was actually the house that I lived in, and it was an amazing deal. I lived in it for 7 years. It was a complete fixer-upper. I mean, the house was so old and needed so much work. And our idea was that we were just going to move in and make the improvements, as we saved enough money. By the end of the 7 years, that property doubled in value. So when I sold it, I made a lot of money. So if I can do that, you can too. You just have to make sure that you are buying right. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys like this video. Remember to check out my website, www.laurenhardyco. For any free tools, we've got a free wholesaling mini course and a free deal analyzer. Make sure you check it out. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Thanks.